Hi, everyone. It's Dina Nebley from New Jersey Family, and I'm thrilled and honored today to be joined by Zach Williams, who is a passionate global mental health advocate. Oh my gosh, and his cutie. What's your dog's name?
This is April.
April. It's nice to meet you, April. I have an Oreo, and it is definitely my best therapy is my puppy. I
Yeah,
got a pandemic dog as well. Zach Williams is a passionate global mental health advocate who has focused a lot of time and effort on sharing his personal story to support others and initiatives and campaigns that remove the stigma of mental health and address the challenges, especially now during the pandemic. And I'm so interested to hear about your company. You're CEO and founder of the anxiety relief company PYM, which stands for Prepare Your Mind. Can you tell us about that? It sounds like something that we all need to know about right now.
certainly. Yeah, I created a stress and anxiety support company because I was going through a lot of issues after my dad died by suicide and was diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder and experiencing extreme anxiety and depressive episodes. And I found healing and support through two avenues. One, it was a commitment to mental health advocacy. That's been very helpful for me in terms of supporting the trauma. And then I found that amino acid formulations were really helpful for my stress and anxiety throughout the day. And I realized that I didn't have to self-medicate using things like alcohol and could instead find safer, more effective solutions for managing my anxiety. And so that's why I started the company. We wanted to create a brand. My wife and I, my wife's the co-founder, her name's Olivia June, and the two of us wanted to create a brand that could help break down stigma and stand for mental health support at scale, while hopefully providing support for customers throughout the U.S.
So speaking of amino acids, and I mean, you did something called Mood Chews, right? Is that what you're talking about? Is that something that's the tangible something that helps with that imbalance, or did you launch that product yet?
Yeah, it's launched. You can find it on our website at youcanpim.com, and we're out in market. People seem to love it. It focuses on balancing the endocrine system, which ultimately is responsible for regulating mood. And so through our product formulation, we created a chewable. It's free of cannabinoids. It's CBD free. And it's the type of product that you can take throughout the day to support your well-being and mental health.
Is it for all ages, or what is the young? Because we're also especially focused on kids and teens, especially being a parenting magazine. I know you recently became a father last year, right? And
Yeah.
So what is the age for this?
Generally, we recommend people consulting their physician prior to providing it for children. But there have been studies shown that some active compounds, specifically GABA, G-A-B-A, which is an active compound in PYM, in PIM, can be helpful in supporting kids around anxiety and the like. That said, always recommend consulting a clinician if you're taking prescription medication and or want to give it to someone, potentially younger people. So, we want to play it safe, but our product is designed to be effective for most people.
So I want to say the main reason that we're talking today is because you're supporting Trinitas Behavioral Health, which is near and dear, as we are a parenting and lifestyle magazine in New Jersey, and we are at their fundraisers every year, and they've had such amazing people speak out about to ease the stigma of mental health. And I know Jack Ford had he's dealing with the same, his father having lost his father to alcohol abuse. Can you give us a sneak peek into the conversation that you're going to, what can we expect? Because we're hoping to get people to tune in and contribute and donate to the cause that Trinitas is doing. So first of all, how did you hear about Trinitas and get involved? And what can we expect on Tuesday night?
I heard about Trinitas through an organization I work with that tunes me into organizations that care about behavioral health and mental health. And so when I was made aware of the organization, I got excited because it clearly does a lot of good for many people. And in terms of what I'm going to be discussing, it will be primarily relating to mental health advocacy and how to apply change on a systems level, while also talking about my story and what I experienced, both in terms of my personal struggles with mental health and talking about my experience with my dad and, you know, what that was like. And so we want, when it comes to sharing my story, it's important to relate my personal journey as it led me down to a path of mental health advocacy, and also what's ahead, what we can envision around what the future may bring for mental health support. You know, as we're experiencing a parallel pandemic, along with the coronavirus pandemic, we've seen a pandemic associated with mental health issues. And, you know, when things start reverting and we experience a new normal, I'm hoping that it will be one in which mental health support is prioritized. And also, you know, we can address the issues of stigma associated with mental health and the topics relating to it. So we'll discuss a variety of things. I'm really looking forward to it because it's something that I found to be part of my life's mission, to advocate for mental health initiatives and to help grow awareness for causes and treatments and protocols that ultimately provide healing and support for people.
We're thrilled and honored that you're taking part to help Trinitas. I toured Trinitas and I saw firsthand, I read the poetry of some of the teens that are living there and part of the program. I know they have a huge wait list as well to get in, and they're doing incredible work, especially among teens. But as a new father, what do you think we as parents can be saying to our kids who are really anxious? The anxiety is just through the roof, depression. I mean, this is such an isolating and stressful period we're going through, and no one, we've never navigated this before. What do you think as parents we should be saying to our kids right now?
Well, I think the first thing to do is listen. Listen to what your kids are saying. And, you know, I have a 17-month-old, so he's starting to speak words, and he's learning how to listen. But I think it's important to share that finding things that are healthy and good for the mind should be a priority for kids and teens, and finding enriching, safe activities is something that needs to be prioritized at this time. And, you know, for parents specifically, I would recommend finding time in the day, if you can, to devote to self-care, to find one space to help ground oneself, and devote to activities that are enriching, that enable someone to be able to show up for others. As I like to say, you need to apply oxygen for yourself so you can apply it for others.
You got to put on your own mask first, that's for sure. We always have to remind ourselves of that. And you've been very open about the obviously how isolating and dark it was after, you know, it was really a national tragedy when we lost, you know, the world lost a gift to the world when your father passed away. And how I mean, I'm asking this question for the people who are in the depths of despair and need to hear from someone like you about how you got to the other side, having also battled anxiety way before that time, and then having to deal with such a traumatic event in the way that you lost your father. How did you battle out of that, and what would you tell others who are in that sort of really dark place?
I would tell others who find themselves in a dark place to seek connecting with people. I found myself isolating, and it wasn't good for my mental health. And you know, aside from finding activities that are enriching and help support your mind, I think connecting with communities, support programs, and the like can be really effective. I'll speak for me personally. I found a lot of help and healing in 12-step. That's something that was great for me. I found talk therapy to be great. That said, I'm hoping that access to talk therapy and other services are going to become more available to everyone over time, because expanding that access and ensuring that parity exists so that programs can reach the populations and communities in need is absolutely essential. Try not to self-medicate if you can help it, because it just leads to a bit of a downward spiral, I would say. Some cases can be worse than others. In my case, it was pretty bad, and I found that I needed to get honest with myself around, my need to reach out and connect with people, because I was hiding, because I was fearful. And the other thing I would say is, find strength and vulnerability. Find people who you can share honestly with. And, most of the time, I think you'll be surprised around how people will receive it. That's not always the case, but, I've found in the situations that I've shared, or people have told me that they've shared with friends or people they trusted, they've been surprised by how well it's gone.
And I think that speaks to a lot of the progress we've made on reducing the stigma, right? I think especially now during the pandemic, I think do you feel that we're making progress on that?
Yeah, I think the most progress is being made by young people. I think young people are far less affected by the stigma. People under 25, that would be Gen Z, I guess you could call folks, and then also Gen Alpha, which is, adolescents, teens, and kids. And they've grown up in a world where, there's a lot of uncertainty, but there's a lot of focus around advocating for change and activism. And I think that's extremely important. I think amongst older generations, there's a certainly increased openness, but it's about having dialogues, potentially maybe being in a situation where conversations might be uncomfortable. And over time, hopefully empathy will be developed, and we can start, sharing and connecting in ways that we didn't realize we were capable of connecting.
And how are you doing now? How is your family?
We're good. We're good. Operating a company in a pandemic is a lot.
Especially when it deals with mental health. How do you do that in an isolation?
With care and consideration. I want to make sure that, again, I prioritize my mental health so I can show up for others, for our team who are experiencing this pandemic just like so many millions of people out there. And so, trying to be careful and considered and thoughtful and going to market and providing solutions for folks is what we're all about.
We're thrilled that we got the chance to talk to you, and we're very excited to share the important work you're doing with your company. And we're also excited to share this with everyone in New Jersey, and hoping they'll tune in on Tuesday for the big event at Trinitas.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for being so generous with your time.
Hey, thank you so much. Wishing you a wonderful weekend, and looking forward to participating.
Yeah, we'll be watching on Tuesday. Thank you so much, Zach, and wish you and your family all the best, and your sweet puppy.
Thanks. Take care.
Thank you. Take care. Bye.
Bye.